Sorry, I'm gonna take a few seconds to log onto my Instagram live feed. The network today has not been encouraging, but we're still gonna try. Trying to inform my Instagram viewers that we are live. So we are live. That's right, we are live on my Instagram and we are live on my YouTube. Hello everyone. Let's make sure. I think the volume just went off. That's it. That's it. Hello everyone. Franix_AF, thank you for joining in. Real Patrick Mendy join, thank you for joining in. Bay_me_, thank you for joining in. Smoking_, hi. Hi, Madam Tastebudz, hello to you too. Hello from Vancouver, Chuk_Christian. You want to win a pot of soup. Thank you for joining in. Abby Phillips, thank you for joining in. Excellency_BK Benson, thank you for joining in. Hakim Bonnie, thank you for joining in. So welcome everyone to Life's Journey with Benedicta. If you're joining us today for the very first time, Life's Journey is a discussion, rather, it's a show. It's a YouTube series that we have every Saturday. We have missed just, I think, 2 episodes since we commenced 1st of August 2020. So we are here live every Saturday. So if you're joining us for the first time today and you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, it is youtube.com/tastebudzng. Remember to subscribe, hit the notification bell. That way you will get notified each time there is video upload. So thank you once again for joining on today's live show. And on today's topic, we are going to be discussing something very close to my heart: finances. Finances is a topic that is very, very, very close to my heart. It's a topic I am very serious about. I have never been one to joke with their finances. I have always been up and doing. I have always had multiple streams of income. Never want to rely on a single stream of income or no income at all. And as a woman, I cannot overemphasize the importance of being financially dependent. On today's topic, we are going to be discussing empowering women, or rather financial empowerment for women in marriages and relationships. Empowerment for women in marriages and in relationships. Why am I hammering on marriage, relationship? You can be broke. You can live and really not care that much about your finances if you're still living with your parents or if you're still being cared for by someone. But once you take that leap, that major step in life, to be in a relationship or to be married, you ought to be financially independent. You cannot risk being financially vulnerable in a relationship. Financial vulnerability is a no-no in a marriage. It is a no-no in a relationship. Why am I saying this, or why am I emphasizing on this? You see, for me, I believe that you cannot say you are truly free. Freedom, it's not complete if you do not have financial freedom. If you do not have financial stability, you cannot claim to be completely free. Now, if you are in a relationship or if you are married, you know that there are certain obligations that is due you in that relationship. You cannot expect your partner to be the one bringing in all the income and still be able to respect you completely in that relationship. It isn't possible. He might try the first year, he might try the second year, but I tell you, as long as the financial burden continues to pile, he becomes more agitated, he becomes more irritable, or she becomes more agitated or more irritable. It goes either ways. But today we are talking specifically about women in relationships, women in marriages. I always advise women, never go into a relationship, or rather never go into a marriage if you aren't financially dependent. I am telling you this from my own personal experience, which I believe I have shared with us on this channel too many times. I remember when I was in my previous marriage. Then I was still young, I had 2 little children. I remember that day after having a serious argument with my ex. I got into the car with both children. It was my dad's birthday, my late dad's birthday. So we were going over to see him. I had baked a cake for him. You know, I baked a cake. I put the children in the car with my nanny, and I was about starting the ignition. I remember my ex coming out and telling me to come down from that car and hand him over the car keys. I was upset, but I was shocked that he would actually ask the children to come down from the car, the nanny to come down from the car, and me to hand over the keys. And he said, you cannot argue with me and still expect to drive my car out of this premises. And that day it occurred to me that never ever in this life would a man tell me that. Never ever am I going to put myself in such a financially vulnerable position that a man would ask me to come down from the car and hand him over the car keys. You see, I had already started my business then. I had already started a catering business. I had already started, buying and selling. But I had not gotten to where I wanted to be then. I hadn't gotten to the position where I could say I wanted to buy myself a car. All the cars in the premises were all in his name, and I was free to drive any of the cars I wanted, as long as I do not stand up to him, I do not get into a quarrel with him, I do not air my opinions or my views about anything that is upsetting to him. Should I do that, then I would not have the right to drive out any of his cars. So that day, if I was working 70%, I knew I had to double up. I knew I had to work 150%. I knew I needed to have multiple streams of income. I knew I had to be a woman that is not dependent on any man or anybody for financial freedom. That day, I knew that whatever it was I was doing, I wasn't doing enough to come out of my financial vulnerable situation. So that is why I always tell women these days, The younger generation, they're smarter, they have more opportunities than we had then, just like we had more opportunities than our parents had. So my advice to the younger generation is do not get into a marriage if you are not financially dependent, because financial vulnerability in a marriage triggers so many things. One, just like I've mentioned, it breeds disrespect. Two, we have found out from studies, from research, that most of the divorce cases we have happened as a result of financial stressors. Finances was mentioned as some of the major factors that led to the breakdown of the marriage. The man had so much financial load, the woman was not able to help, and this led to so many arguments. You will agree with me that in most marriages or in many relationships, financial arguments, financial quarrels last longer and are usually more intense than other arguments and other quarrels in a relationship. So as a woman, the question here today is, are you doing enough to become financially stable? Are you doing enough to become financially dependent? Coco underscore cheesies underscore Papa said financial vulnerability goes both ways. If a man has no money, he is also under immense confusion. Both men and women should be financially capable. Coco underscore cheesy underscore Papa, you are saying exactly the same thing that I am saying. Financial vulnerability in a relationship, either on the part of the man or on the part of the woman, is a no-no. But on today's topic, I'm really going to key in on women. It is no surprise that here in Nigeria, in Africa, and even in most parts of the world, women tend to play a lower responsibility when it comes to finances in a marriage or in a long-term relationship. Women are not usually keen on long-term investments. Women are not usually keen on asset acquisitions like the men folk. So that is why I'm focusing on women today. We have to start thinking long-term when it comes to finances. We cannot rely on our husbands, on our male partners to do the whole thinking, the whole planning, the whole acting when it comes to long-term financial investments, when it comes to multiple streams of income. You'll find out that in most marriages or in most relationships, women are usually content with having a day job. That is, either have a day job. Sometimes once they have that day job, they feel, well, they're fulfilled. They have a day job, they run around after children, keeping the home. I'm not saying there is anything wrong with running around, trying to maintain the home front, attending to the cooking pots and taking care of the children. But I'm also saying today that women should begin to think long term. When it comes to finances, women should start thinking about long-term investments. Women should start thinking about multiple streams of income. Women should start planning towards their retirement. Women should start planning towards the unlikelihood of an unfortunate event that might make them or bring them to widowhood before time. Studies have also shown that women, in most cases, outlive their male partners. So at some point in time as a woman, you are going to be burdened with carrying your own financial responsibility, if not carrying the financial responsibility of your children or your entire household. So why take such a huge risk by sitting down, doing nothing, or having just a day job, or having just one source of income, and then allowing the man to do all the long-term planning. There is a lady here, a very seasoned business expert when it comes to trading the financial market. I have been in business with her for quite a while. Through her tutelage, I have been able to start trading the financial market for myself for quite a while now. And I would say it has been a profitable venture. Just like with all businesses, we have ups and downs. But when the profit outweighs the losses, I think it is something women should begin to look into. I have never been one to believe in a one-stream income. When I had my company in Port Harcourt, I started off with catering domestically. Then I moved to catering commercially for companies. I catered for oil companies, the oil and gas sector. I catered for the banking sector. I catered for large events in Port Harcourt. Then I gradually moved into the production, commercial production of yogurt. Then I gradually moved into having a commercial sized bakery. A lot of you do not know that I bake. I'm a baker. I bake. So I had a 3-in-1 company because I have never really believed in starting a business and just staying stuck, or starting a business and being comfortable. I have never been one for that. And that is what has helped me to be able to wade through the turbulent years that I went through. The 10 years I went through my divorce, I would not have been able to survive it if it wasn't for the fact that I was industrious, if it wasn't for the fact that I had multiple streams of income, if it wasn't for the fact that I am, it is not just me telling you, oh, go get married, oh, go get divorced. No, if you must be in a serious relationship, if you must be married, come in with something on the table. And even if you don't have something to put on the table immediately, you should have mega plans for something you can immediately put on the table, or over the long run, put something on the table. Before I invite the wonderful lady I'm going to be inviting, I am yet to see her. I don't know if she's here. She was supposed to join me today. I'm going to be sharing a short story about my life before I started my business journey, or my entrepreneurial journey, or my career journey. I remember when I initially got married, I was a copper. I told you guys I was a copper. And so after I had my first baby, I was 24. I was very eager to start working. And I knew back then, once you have a baby and you're newly married, once you send in your CV to companies, the first thing they look at is marriage status. If they see married, that is a turn down for you. If they have other candidates that are qualified for that position and they are spinsters, the probability that the spinsters are going to be picked up for the job is higher than you being a married woman and a mother. Most companies don't want to employ a new staff and immediately they're giving you maternity leave, immediately they're giving you time off. Most company owners do not want to do that. So I knew I was already disadvantaged at 24 because I was a young mother and it was going to be difficult for me to get a job. So while I was harboring dreams of maybe getting a job, although that was never my intention, I've always wanted to work for myself. I've always been industrious, even when I was in college, when I was in the university. So I remember telling my ex-husband, I said, look, it might be a while before I get a job. I want to immediately embark on my catering business and I want to go into network marketing. I was once a Mary Kay consultant. That was actually the first thing I did at 24. I was heavily pregnant with my first child when I registered as a Mary Kay consultant. Then Mary Kay was very new in Nigeria, where you had to make sales of about $600 a month. And in my first month, I made sales of $2,000, which shocked the lady that introduced me to Mary Kay. And I didn't start Mary Kay with a dime because I didn't have a dime. She just told me, I want to make manager in Mary Kay, which was network marketing. She wanted to make manager. And for her to do that, she had to sell $16,000 worth of Mary Kay cosmetics. So she told me, you don't need money to join this Mary Kay. If you can help me sell my Mary Kay cosmetics and you get the profit on it. That was how I started my Mary Kay business. Heavily pregnant with my first child, I started marketing Mary Kay to companies, to ladies, skincare, and all of those before I even started the catering business. So I have never been one to sit put. And I remember when I asked my ex, I told him, I said, look, I want to start a business. I really want to start doing something. And he said, you're heavily pregnant. Oh, why don't you wait till the baby comes? So I was selling the Mary Kay codedly, making money. Imagine my first month, I sold $2,000 worth of Mary Kay cosmetics. As soon as I had my baby, I moved. And then every time I told him, look, I was ready to do something bigger, the first question he'll ask me is, you have a roof over your head, you have 3 square meals, you have my car, you can drive around anytime you want. Why are you so anxious to make all this money? You're making so much money from Mary Kay already. You are catering to companies already. Why do you really want something bigger? It's going to take all your time. I told him I was never cut out to sit idle, and I was never cut out to beg for money. So each time I tried to do something bigger or to take my business to the next step, he would come up with an argument. I don't need all that money. Why am I pushing myself? Why are you going into factory? Why do you want to build a factory? Why are you doing all this? I kept pushing. Because I knew I never wanted to be under any man when it comes to finances. What are your goals? What are your core values in life? What are the things that that you consider as valuable in your life? How would you like your life to be like? Are you the type that would like to have a collection of designer bags? Do you like designer? When I started my business, I knew I loved the life. I loved high-end products, and I would never ask for a dime. Never. I'm not that type of person, that phrase will tell you, I'm not the type of person that will come and meet you, buy me charge card, buy me that Jimmy Choo shoes, buy me that bag. Never. Never did it with my ex-husband, never did it with any man. So I have always wanted to have my own money to buy myself the fine things of life. And I knew that for me to do that, you can imagine you have a husband that earns 4 million naira a month, and you want to be carrying designer handbags worth 2 million naira, 2.5 million naira, 3 million naira handbags. You're definitely not going to have one, you're going to have 2, 3, 4, 5 bags. That's like 15, 20 million. Which man is going to foot that bill? You have to foot that bill yourself. And if you want to foot that bill yourself, girl, you've got to work hard. You have to work hard. You need multiple streams of income. You cannot sit your ass for the of a partner. But what that happens, and suddenly you are faced with carrying the financial burden of not just yourself, but your entire household. You have to put in the work. I could have relaxed in my previous marriage and said, you know what? I am being fed. I live in a fine house. My children's tuition are paid for. I can just beg my ex-husband for monthly allowance. By the way, my monthly allowance when I initially got married was 20,000 naira. I got 20,000 naira. Sorry, it was 10,000 naira initially. That was 2002. And later it was increased to 20,000 naira. So I knew I didn't want to live on 20,000 naira. There were things I wanted to get for myself, my own money. I am not one to ask you for more than what you need. You have food, you have life. If he or she wishes to buy you a Birkin bag or give you a Birkin bag, that is not a problem. But for you to demand a Birkin bag on his own bill, work and get yourself a Birkin bag. If you get it as a gift, willingly get it. I was never, if there's anybody disputing me, they should put up the receipt. I was never ever gifted a car. Benedicta, Elechi, or whatever. Benedicted a car. This is a car bought at my birthday, and yes, that I was previously married, and I was buying the compound. So I knew to work for it. So women, please stop being comfortable with freebies. Whether you're a married woman, you're married to a rich man, or you're in a relationship with a business mogul that spoils you silly, always know that the plugs can be pulled at any time, and you will be left alone. There was a story I was reading on the Instablog sometime last week. A girlfriend came out and she was defending, giving all sort of excuses why her ex-boyfriend should continue to pay her a certain amount of money every month after they had broken up. In order for her to maintain such a lifestyle, he had to continue high court collecting somebody else's money. Then you're just a girlfriend and you expect to be placed on a pedestal because you were dating a rich man. Women, wake up. Wake up. I've been trying to see if our surprise guest, anything I tell you here, you can take it to the bank. Yes, I worked very, very hard to get all the extras I wanted in life. Don't forget, initially when I got married, I had any kind of food I wanted to eat. I lived in a comfortable home. I had any car I wanted to drive as long as I was in that house. I wasn't hungry. I had 24 hours light. I wasn't hungry. But I didn't have what they call personal money, liquid cash. Someone coming to meet you and saying, oh, Benedicta, please, can you give me 20,000 naira loan? I need you to borrow me 20,000 naira in cash. I'm going to pay you back. And I'm going to tell you I don't have it. And that's the truth. I never had 20,000 naira cash to give to anyone until I started working for myself. Yes. I had everything I wanted to eat. I had a beautiful home. I had cars to drive around. But I didn't have my own personal money. That is why women should please endeavor to be financially dependent on themselves.